It's a new year, and with that comes New Year's resolutions, one of which I hope is to level up financially. Because in this video, I want to go over how to set ourselves up for building wealth in 2024. Now, I know that I focus mostly on crypto and NFTs with this channel, but it actually falls within the broader scope of financial literacy, which I've developed over years of entrepreneurship, videos, books, real estate experiences, and podcasts. Ideally, you want to have a good foundation so that you can have more fun aping into your degenerate Web3 plays. This may seem like common sense, but after some recent conversations with a few friends of mine, I realized that what is common sense to me isn't always the case for others. So before we get to the crypto part today, let's start with some basic financial literacy. First, you need money to make money. You want to maximize your income, and then with it, budget enough to cover your basic needs and wants. The two mainstream rules of thumb for this are the 50-30-20 rule and the 70-20-10 rule. I personally was raised more fiscally conservative, so I prefer the 50-30-20 rule. This rule recommends that you put 50% of your earnings towards your basic needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings. And within this budget, you want to make sure that you're managing your debt responsibly as well. Things like not carrying a balance on your credit cards, because you do end up paying pretty high interest rates on those. So make sure that if you do have a balance, pay off as much as you can, preferably more than the minimum every month. You could find credit cards that allow you to transfer your balance for a 0% APY. It may take a couple hours, but you can definitely look online and find credit card resources to help you with your needs. The best part of that is you'll also be able to accumulate credit card reward points that can later stack up. For other debts like student loans or mortgages, you can always try to refinance or negotiate for a better rate. What a lot of people don't realize is that bills are negotiable, especially if you have good credit and standing with them. Second, it's always good to have an emergency fund for rainy days. This is aside from your regular savings account that is earning the market interest rate. And this is where the 20% of that 50-30-20 rule comes in. I was raised with a huge emphasis on saving, and I was actually shocked when I first heard on the news that most Americans don't even have enough for, say, a $600 or $1,000 emergency. The general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months emergency fund if you're employed, and 6 to 9 months if you're self-employed. One of the easiest ways is to just set up a high yield savings account so that you're earning passive income, which is money that your money makes for you while you sleep. This helps to ensure that you're at least keeping up with inflation, if not using it for your own advantage. After all, depositing money into a bank is essentially loaning your money to them, so make sure you're choosing banks that pay a high interest and charge low fees to no fees. I personally like online banks with low overhead costs and that can offer you some of the best interest rates, like Ally Bank. Another type of savings is a retirement account. So in the US, you have several different forms of these, anything from a 401k to a traditional to a Roth IRA. One of the best, in my opinion, is the Roth IRA. Not only can your money grow tax-free, but you can also withdraw your contributions at any time with zero penalty, which is huge if you start early and you take advantage of compound interest. This is actually how tech mogul Peter Thiel amassed billions of dollars tax-free. In fact, Roth IRAs are so great that only the middle class is allowed to have them. For example, this year, the income limit is $161,000 for single filers, meaning that if you make above that amount, you cannot open a Roth IRA. There are backdoor Roth IRAs, but that's another separate thing. So in summary, high yield savings accounts, retirement accounts, and even the S&P 500, which generally returns about 10% a year, are one of the best and easiest ways to grow and preserve your wealth. This leads me to number 3. So we've all heard this before, but you want to diversify your investments by aligning them with your goals. And how you figure out your goals is to ask yourself questions like, are you more in the wealth accumulation stage or the wealth preservation stage? What is your timeline horizon? When and where do you want to retire? And then look at your investments and ask yourselves, is this a long-term hold, medium, short? What are the capital gains implications of each? Does it pay dividends? Is it growing tax-free? How much are the fees and commissions being charged, if any? For younger people in their 20s or 30s, it's generally more advisable to take on more risk because of the time you have to make up for it with your highest earning years plus compound interest. So generally speaking, it's advisable to have a well-diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds that reflect your goals. So now that you have a better grasp of basic financial literacy, you are in a much better place to get into crypto. I hope you found all of this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.